We welcome here Priscilla Yeh, who is our great friend and also the wife of Raymond Yeh, who we just talked to. And so we have another family here that is also sharing experience with Bob's family. So this is great. It's a network of families. So this is really great. So we would like to thank you very much, Priscilla,
So nice to be here.
yeah, to be here with us and having also, your perspective on innovation architecture, related not only, to Bob's family and experiences, but also to your experience with Raymond Yeh and your own. So as a woman, a great woman. And so please share with us how do you, when you bring the personal development with business development aspects, how do they interact and how are they important in the innovation architecture process?
Okay, after you've been talking to Bob's family, all three generations, and you have seen them as a very unique model of a wonderful family, and which is very rare these days. And because this is very rare, so the world is kind of in chaos right now. So continue to produce that kind of family is very important. So from my point of view, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a technologist, and however, I'm in the management relationship. So I think, to me, life is nothing but a series of relationships. Once you were born, you have a relationship with your parents, and then when you went to school with teacher and your classmate, and then went to work, you have colleagues, and all these things are relationship. And however, why the world is the way it is today, in chaos, and most of the time you can find it's the breaking down of relationship. So to me, if people will think how to innovate a particular relationship, for instance,
Yes.
if a couple cannot get along, instead of just argue all day long or fight for divorce, how about let's say, okay, how can we do innovation of this relationship we have, okay? And then, of course, then each of you should talk about what you really dream up to have this relationship, what is their vision, and where are we now, and how we get there. And I would call this what I want in this relationship. I call this is my vision of the relationship. Mm-hmm. Where are we now? Here. We fight. We couldn't agree with many things. So how do I get from here to there? We need a roadmap. So let's do a roadmap together. First, you have a same vision first, or close. Okay? Mm-hmm. You can have one want to go to east, one want to go to west. You'll never be together, right? But we all can change. What was the first thing to get us together? And how do we make this happen? So this could be a innovation to a relationship. To me, it's very important because once the couple has good relationship, then the children flourish, children benefit, and then they learn how to build relationship. So when they go into the world, they all have wonderful relationship. Then the whole world will be a different place. So to me, innovation actually is in all different areas besides technology and the science.
Yes.
That's why people use the relate innovation to
That's true.
the word, to our life.
Yes.
But to me, that's only half of the life. The other half is more intangible, and fewer people use the word innovation relating to it. But I think it's just as important.
That's true. And this is really interesting because when we also think of innovation, we relate to businesses, making money and filing patents and all those things. But what about innovating in our lives, in our personal lives with our family and all the different relationships we have?
And that can be a business too.
Yes.
If you develop certain things, certain techniques, certain methodology,
That's true.
certain facility, so you bring these people in. Say, okay, what do you want to innovate? what relation you want to innovate. So you can have this whole set of things develop, and to me, that's very needed today.
Yeah.
Because all relationships are breaking down. People on depression medication, great percentage. That's very scary. So to me, that's very important.
Yes, yes. And it seems that by learning this from Bob's family and what we've been talking about and what you've been accomplishing, how would you see that in your practices, things you have been doing and exercising as examples or experiences that you have been having related to this new perspective? Give one example, or
Well, we actually have been using these thoughts to help all different kinds of people, family situation and the teenagers in schools, to help them to have a different way of looking at things. In other words, do not just go with the flow and drift along and all that. For every situation is what is the right thing to do, how to do the right thing, and how to prepare for change. And we show them this could be your whole life journey. You plan it that way, or it could be just a simple thing. How do I choose my college? Where do I want to go? You can use the same methodology to do that. So actually today, I think in this world, another very important thing is the health. See, you can sit in any airport and just there and watch people.
yeah,
I would say at least 80%, if not 90% people overweight. Today, even overweight people, you don't see it because they are not obese yet. They are just overweight. Okay, but even overweight is not good for you. So you can innovate how to have a healthy lifestyle. You can innovate your diet. You can innovate your mental health. You can innovate all kinds of things.
yes,
So that's just all a totally different aspect to focus on what to innovate and how to
Yes.
make it into ways that help people. Because today, people pick up junk food, go to junk food place for lunch, for dinner, and all these things. They don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So they need to have innovation to show people what is the good diet, what is the good mindset, what is the good exercise, what is good and doable,
yes,
and not just like diet. Diet never work, right?
Yes.
So you need to provide them that rather than just go to the hospital for treatment. How to prevent going to hospital. So these are all actually innovation, can be real good business, big business, and something to focus on.
Yes.
Then, so I would like to bring this different angle of looking at innovation.
Yes. And I remember once, and also related to health, it's important to come from inside to outside, not as rules, you have to follow this or that, but learning from inside. So I remember once you told me, a piece of lettuce can be very healthy,
Right.
but if you're not desiring it, if it's not good for you, if it's not something you want, it can be as bad as another food that is not healthy. So that is really a difference of how you perceive food, and how do you perceive what's out there, and how do you, from inside, how do you change, and then those things really help you change yourself. And I remember that, so I just wanted to bring
Everything
that.
is starting from the inside.
Inside.
However, nowadays, in the modern days, people just focusing on
Yes.
the outside. Whatever you
Yes.
see, whatever you hear, right?
That's true.
But if your inside is in turmoil, doesn't matter
Yes.
what outside, it's not going to. And now we live in a Buddhist monastery, and we are kind of cultivation is our top priority, and everything else will just follow. So actually, we were just joking one day. He said, "Look at our residents there. Doesn't matter what age they are. You can see very few people have very wrinkled face, and they are all, look very much younger than their age. And that shows you when you are really examining yourself and trying to transcend yourself and all that, that your inside will just show it on the outside. So you just naturally become healthier. And so mental health is very important. So talking about that piece of lettuce,
Yeah.
if you really think that's going to be good for me, and it will do this thing. If you say, lettuce, I hate it. So although I learned from some place that eating lettuce is good for you, but then I really hate it, then don't eat it, because that's poison. Since you connect that thought with that piece of lettuce. So in other words, it's very important you really do the things you think you want to do, and then do it properly.
Very good, very good. Well, yeah, and what would be your advice to young entrepreneurs now and innovators and families that even have no idea, because sometimes they have no idea, innovation for them is something so far away from them. But hey, they can now, after you're saying this, they can now see that it's not. It's already there with them. And so what would be your advice to have them experience that not necessarily they have to own a business or start a business to be an innovator or even an inventor or an entrepreneur, but on the business side, but having that experience already from their own lives?
Right, because we from time to time teach the high school student in our monastery, so we really actually have them experience this, practice this. We said, now you are 15, 16, 17, 18, right? And you are taller than your parents, so you really are powerful. So when you go home for winter break, summer vacation, don't just fall into the same pit that you were growing up with, okay? So parents were angry with you, they scold you, they give you rules, and then you just resist and all that. Try something else, okay? You come from this angle. Parents definitely not going to do me harm. They really, it's all for my own benefit. They may not know the best way to do it, but I'll see how I can innovate different way to bring out the best of them. Okay? So I'm this young people come home, and how can I help them to make them happy? Okay? How can I tell them, how happy I am? So just change the way, innovate the way you communicate with each other, and then innovate the way, they may have to nag you to clean up your room, like forever. No, do it yourself. You know that's what they want, and you know that's good for you. So you just clean up your room without their telling you. So you let them see that you really want this relationship to be different, to be better. So you be the innovator to make a different pattern. You be the change and see how things can be different. And many of our students already experience that. So this is only from a small example in the home. And then you can do the same with your classmates. Sometimes you really don't like this one, and see how you can innovate this to change this. And then when you go out to college and do the same and go to work, so everywhere you change the life around you the way you like it. You think it's healthy, you think it's happy. Then you are in the driver's seat. Then you can have a wonderful life.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this new, different perspective. Yes, thank you. Okay.